Mm. Hi, welcome to Nia's Divine Garden. I am Iyanifa Dania. And today, first and foremost, before I get into the topic of today, I want to start with gratitude. I'll get more into some of this later, but I just really want to say thank you. Thank you to all the subscribers, all the most recent ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you to everyone who's liking. Thank you to everyone who's commenting. I cannot begin to put into words the awe, the humbleness and gratitude that I feel when I look at some of the numbers and I'm just like, I did that? Wow. Ashe. So thank you. I really do. I truly appreciate it. And this goes hand in hand with the topic of this video, which is my Ori, my favorite self, and I. So if you're new here, you just happen to stumble. I hope that you will stay hanging out in the garden. We have plenty of hammocks available. Just hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you stay updated. And yeah, I'll be doing videos for a while, podcast season. I won't get into my podcast season again until about next month or so. So yeah, gonna have some videos coming for a bit. So I wanted to do this video because of honestly everything that's going on, um, to talk a little bit about my Ori, my favorite self, and what that relationship has been like. One second. Sorry. So I wanted to talk about that relationship, especially for my fellow folks in the diaspora who are just trying to find their way. And what I find is in my own journey, just watching other people are like, I want to find out, a lot of times they end up gravitating towards Ifa because in Bigger Than Africa illustrated it quite clearly. That is one of a lot of us are of Nigerian descent, whether we know it consciously or not, whether we had a DNA test. A lot of us just end up gravitating towards Ifa or something from the Ifa tree, as I like to call it. One of the many branches, whether it's Isheshe, Lekumi, Santeria, depending on if you're further down in South America, Doble, like end up going in that direction. And or end up going in a direction like voodoo, depending on where you're located in the South. Maybe even well, hoodoo is an African American. That's our thing here in the States for descendants of slaves. But a lot of people end up, they hear about orishas and things like that, and that's in kind of where the draw is. And I know when I first heard about it, I was like, but I wasn't personally in a rush to initiate. I honestly, I didn't think I was going to. As I was studying things more, I honestly didn't think I was going to do. I thought I was just going to be a devotee. Part of it was because I had not found an elder, and secondly, I just didn't think I was going to initiate. I was kind of feeling like I didn't want to do organized religion anymore, and so initiation to me felt like going back to an organized religion. So I didn't feel like I was going to do that. So I did some studying and things, and one of the things I love about how my study ended up happening is because there was no rush to go find out who your head Orisha is. And my particular lineage, and just talking to certain people from the continent, from Nigeria, that are in Yoruba land today that practice Ifa, there is no head, there isn't one Orisha that's in charge per se. So if you had to describe it to someone else, I would probably say it's your Ori. And everyone, no matter what you practice, has an Ori. So in Europe, a Ori literally means head. It is your consciousness. So all of us, unless you're like the headless horseman, like I think a headless horseman, he's probably, but I mean, he carries his around. So technically, even he still has it. It's just not on his shoulder. But everyone has a head. Everyone, if you're walking around talking to people, you have a consciousness. And so that is what that is. Some people may even say this is your higher self. I've stopped using higher self just because we came to an understanding that this is favorite self. So favorite self, that's why my title says my Ori, my favorite self, and I. That's my favorite self. And so this is the part of you that is always with you because it is your consciousness that is still sitting with the Most High. So you have your soul, your spiritual essence that is in and around the part of your body, but it's also still an attachment to source because we're still individualized aspects of source. So we still have a cord, an attachment that's with us to source. And that particular part of our consciousness is who is with us through our entire journey. Like as you progress through your journey, if you resonate with guides and ancestors and things like that, some are with you for life and some are not. Some are only with you to get you through certain tests and things and parts of your journey. Some are only there to help with certain things. So we'll say use business. So let's say you got an ancestor that was like a banging businessman, woman, individual, however that may be. That ancestor may literally only help you with that one thing. Let's say you have, you're doing shadow work. And so you may only work with energies that are really supportive for shadow work, like a Kali or Oya, that's very specific for that work. But your Ori, your consciousness, it's always there. So you can always go to your Ori before anyone else. And that was a really cool, like that was the word that I felt like it's like there's a part of me that sits with God. Like that's how it hit me. I was like, yo, I'm part of God, and there's a part of me that sits with God. And so that was a really, really great thing to kind of like learn and resonate with. And so in me and my own particular practice, before I did any initiation of any kind, I started working with my Ori. You may be like, well, what did you do? In my morning routine. So and to this day, it's still part of our morning prayers. I at this point now, I have some prayers in Yoruba that I can say, but I was always giving thanks to my Ori. I found a video very early on, and she was able to give a prayer, which is in the one of them. She just gave it to us in English. And I didn't realize that she never said it in Yoruba. She just gave it to us in English. So I watched the video, wrote it down. I still have the notebook I wrote it down in. And every day she gave us 2. And saying those prayers. Hold on, my phone's ringing. What? So that's what I started doing. I say my prayers, gratitude to the creator in the morning for lining me up, gratitude for things in my life. If something significant happened, I'd make sure I said gratitude for that. I would, have a chat with my ancestors, and I would thank my Ori. And I was just doing that on a daily basis. And it was just like, saying like, I trust you to guide me. I trust you to support me. I'm grateful that you are allowing the blessings to come through, because from E5, one of the things is like nothing comes to you but through your Ori. Like your Ori is like your gatekeeper. Like nothing's gonna come, good, bad, or indifferent. Nothing's getting through here without my say so. And so like having that relationship and saying, I want these good things. These are the good things that I want in my life. This is what I'm trying to do. And the Ori is helping you navigate Because if you think about, there's an aspect of yourself that's still sitting with source. So God's got multiple timelines, dimensions, and things happening. So there's a part of us, like a choose your own adventure. And it's like, okay, Ordy is helping us to our destiny. And you have free will. And so your destiny is what it is, but you can, get there the easy way or the not so easy way. Toddlers, small people. So, every day saying, my Ordy is a good Ordy. Thank you to my Ordy for bringing me blessings. Thank you for supporting me through challenges. And so that's where it started. The voice, the nudge, the guidance comes through your intuition. That is the voice of your favorite self. That is the voice that's saying, hey, I know you've got 3 or 4 different ways you can do this thing. But if you choose this one way, that'll take you on a little bit smoother path. It's a little smoother if you go this way. You can choose the other ones, but I'm trying to nudge you. I'm trying to guide you to this other way. Or do this thing because it's going to open a new pathway and a new door. It's going to open a new pathway. Right now, you're kind of on this pathway, you're going straight, but I kind of need you to take a left turn. So I'm going to guide you and nudge you to those things. So you may feel those like an epiphany and things of that nature. And what I ended up learning and subsequently have been teaching others and now have a course for is how to purposely work with your intuition. How to purposely say, okay, I want to trust my intuition in this regard and what this decision is going to look like. So I feel like I need to do this or this. And for me lately, the way I've been asking myself the question is, which one of these is leading me in a light of my path? So, because part of our journey is to that light within us, to embody that on a regular basis and make us move in a lighter fashion. So I've been like, okay, there's this way and this way. Which way is my path to the light? And so I kind of just, ask and get my yes and my no. And it has been such a beautiful evolution. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so proud of myself for how far I've come. Like this YouTube channel was not public speaking. You want me to talk in front of people? I had the biggest, I wanted to close my gap. I was so self-conscious about it growing up. I wanted to close my gap. I have an underbite. I have a bit of a lisp. I had a small stutter. There were just various reasons talking in front of people was a challenge for me. And for my astrology buffs that are here listening as well, I have Saturn retrograde in my 3rd house. I have Jupiter retrograde in my 2nd house. And a lot of people don't talk about the 2nd house is your voice, your actual speaking voice. So I have Jupiter retrograde in my speaking voice, which would make it internalized. It's big in my head, but not out. Would have to come later, especially with Saturn in this place of communication also being retrograde. So, and Mercury was in my 8th house. Lots of things where I had to work to become more confident in my speaking in front of people. Answering questions in class, it's like the universe was constantly doing something. Like, you're going to answer the question. No one else in this class is going to answer the question. And you're going to look around and it's going to make you uncomfortable. That silence is going to make you uncomfortable. And so you're going to have to answer the question. There were things like that were going on. So in the last 2 years or so, it's been, you need to put yourself out there more. What you mean? As you're learning, you need to be teaching. And how am I doing that? You're going to start a YouTube channel. You're going to start a Patreon. What? It was not, if you had told me 3 years ago I'd have a YouTube channel, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, immediately no. Like, it was just not something I would have expected, but I did it on faith. My intuition said this is something you're supposed to do. And what had been coming up is keep creating, keep creating, keep creating. bit by bit, you're going to get there. Keep creating. Don't stop. This is important. You creating is important. You using your voice is important. You teaching, you talking about the things and putting yourself out there as yourself is important. So you see, like, I'm initiated, but I purposely don't always have white on in my videos because I don't always have white on. I need to show you that who I am. I'm just a person. I'm just a person. Wise I may be, divine always. God is gloriously. I'm still a person though. I'm still divinely human. I still listen to hip hop and all these things. And I know the more I work more or read, part of my path and my journey is being authentically me and doing what I love. I love teaching. I love talking about things that I can nerd out about. Like, these are things that I love to do. And my Ori has been like pushing me to like do this. This is something you're supposed to do. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And what I love about my spiritual practice is how everything has tied in together. You need to put yourself out there. I have an Aries 10th house. My midheaven is in Pisces. If you're using whole sign astrology, my midheaven is actually in Pisces. But I have an Aries 10th house, and that's where my moon is. So that's where my feelings, my emotions are tied to that legacy. And part of that, your moon is also your roots and your ancestry. So part of my legacy is attached to my ancestry, of which I have, at bare minimum, I have Nigerian ancestry. Every once in a while, I'll run into somebody that's, Nigerian, or specifically if they're for Yoruba. Every time they see me, they're like, you are one of us. So I'm just like, I can't run from it. That's where it is. But my Ori and I, my favorite self and I, have been cultivating this partnership. And it's interesting because I always hear people say, it's me against me. I'm not against myself at all. The me that I was made way for this me. I'm not against her. I thank her. I thank her for being strong. I thank her for being strong. I thank her for going through those challenges. I thank my Ori for being with her, even when I didn't know that my Ori existed. I am not against her. I am for her. But for her, I would not be her. But for her, I would not be her. I would not. I would not. I got no, it's not a contest against me and the other person. I'm not trying to outdo her. I'm trying to honor the journey that she went through in order to make sure that I got here. That me is also part of my roots. That me is also part of my lineage. And my Ori has always been with her through every up, through every down, through every tear, through every trauma. My Ori has always been with her. And I know this because I'm still here. And there were days where I questioned that. There were days I questioned that. In the last couple of weeks, it's been really strong. I need to create. I need to put stuff out there and I need to create. I need to put stuff out there and I need to create. And every reading, every astrology, everything's like, you're going to start to see June is time. June is the time. I define that as January. June is going to be the turn, there's a pivot that's going to happen in May. And you're going to start to see this happen in June. And I see it. And I see it. And I've just been trusting the process. We're having a local Juneteenth event. Those of you who are local to the CSRA, please come to Juneteenth, Augusta. I will be doing spoken word. That, again, writing the books. Yeah, cool. I got the books. I can write the books. I can be behind the scenes. You can read my poetry and enjoy it. Yay. You need to go and perform your poetry and be like, and that's coming through other people. You go to spoken word events, you should go read your poetry. You should go read your poetry. You should go read it. That's become like, since I've been writing, I have been told I need to go to spoken word events, and I've never been to one. Not one, not a single one. And every person who has ever read my poetry, except one, has told me I needed to go read it for others. So when I was signing up to be a vendor, so I'll be there doing consultations and readings, I saw the performance thing. And the way my intuition speaks through me physically is. And so my nose is just like, and the whole face is just, I'm just like, and so then I feel spirit moving through me, like, and I'm just like, oh no, 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 no. You don't want me to do that. Abject terror as I'm filling this form out. Like, oh my God. But the moment I submitted it, it felt like, yes, that's what it felt like. Yes, I'm so proud of you. You trust me, this is the right thing to do. And everything since then has said, this is, you are doing the exact thing you're supposed to do. You are walking in alignment with your destiny. But I don't know that I would have that if I did not trust my Ori. My initiation, I had to go through and make sure my head and my heart were in alignment. And I expected this process to be difficult, and it was not. It was not. And I am proud of myself because I had already been doing shadow work ahead of time, not preparing to initiate. It was just, I wanted to feel like me. I didn't want to feel like this wounded woman. I wanted to feel like this warrior goddess who had triumphed over all of this trauma. And I needed to face it. I needed to face it and let it go. And every time something comes up, I allow myself the space. And it's beautiful because I don't feel judged. I can go to my altar. I can sit with my Ori. I can talk to my ancestors and say, this is how I feel, and allow myself to cry, whatever I need to do, cry, well, however it needs to be released, because that is what your tears are for. Anything that exits your physical body is not supposed to stay in there. And I think it's the thing people don't realize. When you laugh, that energy is positive energy. It's not supposed to stay with you. You're supposed to share it. That's what the laughter is for. There's a reason why when you laugh in a group, all of a sudden it starts to spread. That's supposed to happen. All the other things, going to the bathroom, sweat, tears are supposed to leave your body. You're not supposed to choke those back. This is your heart getting a spiritual bath. This is your release ritual being triggered by your body. Allow it to happen. And that's what I've been doing. And my Ori has been with me every step of the way. When I am unsure, when I have that trepidation, and I can go back, I can pause, I can sit and like, okay, favorite self, what do I need to do? Tell me, help guide me so that I make the decision in my light. And the days where I've just picked random days, like, all right, today is follow our intuition day. And it's not that I don't every day, but I purposely travel following my intuition. Let's see what kind of magic I can experience. Where am I going? And every time, by the end of that journey, by the end of that day, there has been something poignant and magical. And then this has been no different. Every day has been something. I got dinner bought for me tonight. Shouts out to Kim Jewelry. I got dinner bought. I joined the social media challenge because the week I'm getting create, shine, this challenge comes up. And I'm like, okay, bet, I'm just gonna join the challenge and see what I can do and see what I can learn. And I'm practically spiritual. So I'm not only making spiritual, I'm technically savvy. I don't have a lot of props and equipment and things like that. That's not a reflection of my technology. That's a reflection of what the current incarnation of my bank account looks like. But I am, like, you go to my website, nice, I did that. I didn't hire somebody, I did that. My videos, as they're getting better on TikTok and Instagram, and I got all the little tech, I did that. Watched a couple of things, watched a couple of tutorials, boom, that's all I need. That's all I need. So yeah, and even my friend's business, she asked me to create her verbal brand. And that was such a huge ask. And when I let me sit with that, because that's a huge thing. Like, you're getting ready to run a marketing campaign, and I need taglines for my marketing campaign. And I need a mission and vision statement. I was like, okay. So I sat with my Ori to see. You don't know how much it feels amazing to go to this business's website and see a tag or something. No, I wrote that. I wrote that. My books, you know, when I write them, that is as much love, self-love as much as it is shadow work. It really is. And every time I feel like my Ordi is cheering me on. My Ordi very much sounds like me. So I'll get nudges through the most random songs, like random song lyrics. And people like know me personally, know I have musical Tourette's. I will relate anything to a song. I will burst out into singing. That is what I do. I randomly sing. So I get random downloads via song. I got a whole big podcast episode about Earth, Wind, and Fire because I got a whole download from one song. Michael Jackson too. I'm like, yo, do y'all even read these lyrics? Like, it just, you don't have to go outside of yourself. It is you. It's you. You're literally, for lack of a better, you're talking to yourself. You're getting wisdom for yourself. It's just a part of you that can see everything that you can't see right now in your conscious mind. That's what you're getting support from. So for people who are like trying to develop their spiritual practice, that's like, if you work with me and you're trying to develop a spiritual practice, we're starting self-love. We're starting with you. We're not starting with anything but you. You. And you and your favorite self. That is where it's going to begin. Beyond anyone else, that is where it will begin. Because that way you will know what your spiritual language is. You will feel sovereign in your practice and be able to say, these are the boundaries I have, even in my spiritual practice, and how I'm going to work with spirit. These are my boundaries and how others are going to work with me. My ability to say no, oh man, that's just a unique thing for me. Like, I can say no. Wow, like, this ain't for you. Okay, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I got asked a question the other day, and I was like, oh, God, what am I gonna do? And I felt like I was between a rock and a hard place. I felt like I wasn't going to win in the situation. And the beautiful thing was, that was my ego. My ego was still in a place feeling like I have to do certain things. I have to say yes. I have to be a people pleaser in order for people to like me. And I no longer have to people please. I have to please me. When I am pleased in my own being, I radiate in a certain way and people like me. So I don't have to people please. I have to me please. And that's a beautiful place to be. So you want to know how to start. That's where you start. You start with yourself. You start with I trust myself. I love myself. I'm grateful to myself for making these decisions. I'm grateful to myself for guiding me in this journey, and do it every morning. Just saying prayers over yourself. Gratitude to your favorite self, your higher self, your Ordi, whatever word, language resonates with you. But give gratitude to that piece of you that's still sitting with source, that's helping guide you on your journey. You don't need an initiation for that. That's you. You don't need to be initiated in you. That is you. And you can always start there. So I hope that you enjoyed this little snippet about my spiritual practice. Comment below, let me know what you think, how you feel. I know your initiates, you may have some other things that you want to add on there, but this is mine for folks in the diaspora, because I feel like everyone's rushing initiation, and I feel like you overcomplicating it. And I did a whole video about not overcomplicating your relationship with the creator. So it'll probably be like right here. But thank you again. Thank you again for subscribing. Thank you again for liking this video and sharing it. And y'all have a great day. Bye.